From the ashes of time, legends whisper of worlds lost to memory. They speak of an age when magic crackled in the very air we breathe, when empires were forged not by steel alone, but by fire, light, and shadows. These are the tales of the lost kingdoms, realms of wonder and terror, now buried beneath the sands of millennia. Join us as we journey back, peeling away the layers of myth to uncover the truths that lie sleeping in the dust. We begin where old stories of power and ruin must, in the heart of the eternal flame. Welcome to Ahkanar, the kingdom of fire. Imagine a land carved from obsidian and fury, where mountains bleed molten rock and rivers of lava carve fiery veins across a scorched earth. The sky here is a perpetual twilight, painted in hues of crimson and soot by the volcanic breath of the land itself. The air shimmers with heat, thick with the scent of sulfur and burning stone. The people of Ahkanar were as fierce as their homeland. They were master blacksmiths and enchanters, their forges roaring day and night, powered by the very core of their world. They believed fire was not just an element, but a dietia, force of creation and destruction that flowed through their blood. Their cities were fortresses of basalt and iron, built to withstand the cataclysmic temper of their environment. Towers clawed at the red sky, their peaks wreathed in smoke. The Arcanians didn't just live with fire, they commanded it, weaving it into their weapons, their armor, and their very souls. But such power comes at a cost. The fires that gave them strength also held the seeds of their downfall, a relentless hunger that would one day consume its masters. We see the remnants now. Colossal statues of warrior kings, their faces melted and scarred, stand sentinel over seas of cooled magma. The grand forges lie silent, their fires long extinguished, leaving behind only the ghostly echo of a hammer's strike and the lingering warmth of a forgotten age. From the searing heat of the firelands, our journey takes us skyward, to a realm that defied gravity and danced with the arcane. This is Veloria, the floating kingdom. Picture islands of crystalline earth suspended in an endless blue mist, connected by bridges of pure light. Towers, slender and elegant, spiraled towards the heavens, their peaks disappearing into the clouds. Here, magic was not a tool. It was the lifeblood of the world. Glowing runes pulsed with ethereal energy along the sides of every structure, humming a silent, mystical tune. The Valorians were scholars and mages, their minds dedicated to unraveling the deepest secrets of the cosmos. They didn't walk, they drifted on currents of magic. They didn't build with stone. They wove reality itself into architectural marvels. Their libraries were not filled with books, but with captured starlight and bottled memories. The air itself was a potent elixir of raw magical power, a constant blue fog that blurred the lines between the physical and the ethereal. The children of Veloria learned to bend reality before they could speak, shaping light and shadow with a mere thought. They sought enlightenment, believing they could ascend beyond their mortal forms to become beings of pure energy. But in their quest for ultimate knowledge, they tampered with forces beyond their comprehension. Now, the floating islands drift aimlessly, their connecting bridges shattered. The once bright runes flicker and die, their power fading into the mists of time. The great observatories, where they once charted the paths of stars, now stand as silent, hollow monuments to ambition that flew too close to the sun. Leaving the mystical heights, we descend to the solid, unyielding earth, to a kingdom built on discipline and strength. Theses, Kellen, the Fortress Kingdom. Envision a land dominated by colossal stone citadels, their walls so massive they seem to be a part of the mountains themselves. Kellen was a nation of warriors, a society forged in the crucible of eternal conflict. Their banner was the bronze spear, their anthem, the marching beat of a million sandals on stone. Vast armies of bronze-clad soldiers moved as one, their shields a forest of polished metal, their discipline absolute. They valued order, duty, and martial prowess above all else. Every citizen was a soldier, trained from birth in the art of war. Their cities were not places of comfort, but sprawling garrisons, engineered for defense. Every street was a potential kill zone, every building a fortified position. The Kalonians believed that strength was the only truth in a chaotic world, and they sought to impose their unbending order upon it. They conquered not for wealth or glory, but for the principle of stability itself. They were the immovable object, the unbreakable wall against the tides of chaos. But even the strongest walls can crumble. Their endless wars bled them dry. Their rigid society unable to adapt. We now walk through the ruins of their grand fortresses. The massive stone blocks toppled and scattered. On the vast training grounds, the wind whispers through legions of stone soldiers, frozen in their final, silent march. The echoes of battle cries and clashing bronze have faded, replaced by the silence of a kingdom that built itself into a tomb. Our path now leads us from the harshness of stone and steel into the deep, breathing heart of the wild. Welcome to Arendor, the Forest Kingdom. This was no ordinary forest. It was a sentient, breathing entity. A world where nature itself was the highest form of magic. Towering trees, older than time, formed a canopy so dense that the forest floor lived in a perpetual, gentle twilight. The air was thick with a scent of damp earth and ancient wood, and the only light came from the soft, green luminescence that pulsed from the flora, the soil, and the very air. The people of Arendor lived in harmony with this living world. They were guardians, not rulers. Listeners, not conquerors. Their homes were woven into the great trees. Their paths followed the natural contours of the land. They communicated with the ancient spirits of the wood, ethereal beings of light and leaf that drifted through the glades. Their magic was primal, drawn from the life force of the forest itself. They could heal with a touch, speak to animals, and command plants to grow. They believed that all life was connected in a single, sacred web, and their purpose was to maintain its delicate balance. They sought not to control nature, but to understand it, to become one with it. But the world outside their sacred grove did not share their reverence. An encroaching shadow, a creeping blight, began to poison their home. Now, the great forest is dimming. The vibrant green glow fades to a sickly pallor. The ancient trees weep ember tears, their bark scarred and blackened. The spirits have retreated deep into the shadows, their whispers turning from songs to mournful cries, leaving a beautiful, dying kingdom gasping its last breath. From the dying forest, we travel to the edge of the world, where the ocean churns and storms rage. Here, rising from the tumultuous waves, stood Solmare, the Ocean Kingdom. Imagine grand temples of coral and pearl, their spires piercing the dark, stormy skies. This was a kingdom born of the sea, its foundations rooted in the mysterious depths. The people of Solmare were navigators, mystics, and masters of the tides. They built their cities on the threshold between the surface and the abyss, their lives dictated by the rhythm of the ocean. The water around their temples glowed with a strange, internal light, home to creatures of myth and legend that swam alongside their ships. The Salmari revere the storm as their most powerful deity. They didn't fear the lightning or the crashing waves. They saw it as the ocean's raw power, a force they learned to channel and respect. Their priests could call upon tempests, their sailors could navigate by the patterns of the currents, and their warriors rode leviathans into battle. They believed the ocean held the answers to life and death, a cycle of creation and destruction mirrored in the ebb and flow of the tide. They drew power from the heart of the storm, building a civilization that was as unpredictable and mighty as the sea itself. But the ocean is a fickle master. The very storms they worshipped grew in fury, their power spiraling beyond control. The depths they called home began to reclaim what was theirs. Today, the great temples of Solmare are sinking. The glowing waters are growing dark and cold. Barnacles and seaweed claim the ornate carvings of sea serpents and forgotten gods. The kingdom is slowly being dragged back into the abyss, a monument to a people who tried to tame the untamable, swallowed by the very power that gave them life. 5 kingdoms, 5 incredible civilizations, each a universe unto itself. The fiery masters of Arcanar, the ethereal mages of Valoria, the disciplined soldiers of Kaelin, the nature-bound guardians of Arendor, and the storm-callers of Sol. They rose to unimaginable heights, wielding powers that shaped their world. But for all their strength, magic, and knowledge, they fell. Was it pride? Was it an external force, a creeping shadow that moved between their worlds? sowing the seeds of their destruction. Subtle clues lie hidden in the ruins. The faint outline of a shadowy creature in the volcanic smog of a dark tendril corrupting the magical mist of Valoria. A silent observer watching the armies of Callan from a desolate ridge. What is this dark presence that haunts the remnants of these once great nations? The answers are lost, scattered across ruined temples and forgotten battlefields, etched onto cracked obelisks that no one can read. Their stories have become whispers, their triumphs and tragedies fading into myth. But what if the story isn't over? What if their fall was just the beginning? As we piece together the fragments of their history, a map emerges from the dust and embers, a scorched parchment charting a course through these lost worlds. It is a Gita warning, and perhaps an invitation. The journey into the truth behind their demise has just begun. This is the saga of the Lost Kingdoms. Thank you for watching. If you're ready to uncover the secrets buried in time, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next episode.